The news coming out of the Northwest today is not just worrying, it is a desperate cry for help that has sent shockwaves through the entire Southeast and the global Biafran community. We have been tracking the situation of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu closely since his sudden transfer to the Sokoto Correctional Centre, and now the reality of that move is hitting home in a very painful way. The headline you saw is the raw truth. Nnamdi Kanu is reportedly very sick, and for the first time, there is a direct, urgent appeal for support to keep him alive and to keep his legal defense fighting. This is not just rumors from social media. This information is coming directly from the heart of the Indigenous People of Biafra, IPOB. An internal memorandum dated February 13, 2026 has been leaked, and it paints a picture of a leader who is battling not just the federal government in court, but a deteriorating health condition in a prison far away from his family and his doctors. The details contained in this memo, signed by IPOB spokesperson Emma Powerful, reveal that the situation has reached a critical boiling point. The group has issued a directive to all its coordinators, unit leaders, and members across the world to immediately mobilize support for Kanu's medical care. You have to ask yourself, why now? Why is the call so urgent? The answer lies in the location. Being detained in Sokoto, hundreds of miles away from Abuja, where he was previously held in DSS custody, has created a logistical nightmare. The memo explicitly states that Kanu's detention outside Abuja has skyrocketed the costs of keeping him safe and healthy. Think about it. Every time his lawyers want to see him, they have to book flights or brave dangerous roads to the Northwest. Every time a specialist doctor needs to check his heart or his blood levels, they have to be flown in. The financial burden of this political transfer is meant to break him, and now IPOB is calling on the people to stand in the gap. This is a very deliberate strategy by the authorities. By moving him to Sokoto, they have isolated him. They have made it expensive and difficult for his support system to reach him, and now we are hearing that his health is paying the price. While the memo did not give specific medical details, likely to protect his privacy, the tone emphasizes the importance of sustained attention. You don't ask for sustained attention if it is just a headache. We are talking about a man who has had a history of heart complications and potassium deficiencies while in custody. Now, imagine dealing with that in a harsh prison environment, far away from the specialized care he had access to in the capital. The fear is real that if something happens to him in the middle of the night in Sokoto, help might be too far away. Now, before we go deeper into the specific organizations Kanu is asking you to support, I need to take a quick second to ask for your help. We are the only channel digging into these internal memos to bring you the facts without the propaganda. If you want to stay updated on Nnamdi Kanu's health and the true situation in Sokoto, please go ahead and smash that like button right now. It tells YouTube this story matters. And if you haven't joined the family yet, please click that subscribe button and turn on the notification bell. We need to grow our voice so that the world knows what is happening to Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. Thank you for your support. The memo from Emma Powerful didn't just ask for money. It pointed members to specific organizations that have been holding the fort. This is very important because there are so many scammers out there claiming to collect money for the struggle. But Kanu himself has identified the groups that have actually been helping him survive this ordeal. He mentioned the American Veterans of Igbo Descent, the Ambassadors for Self-Determination, and the Rising Sun Foundation. These are the bodies that have been quietly paying the bills, sorting out the logistics, and ensuring that despite the distance, he is not forgotten. The fact that Kanu is personally appealing for support for these groups shows that their resources are being stretched to the limit. The cost of justice in Nigeria is high, but the cost of keeping a high-profile political prisoner alive in a remote location is astronomical. It is also interesting to note the tone of unity in the message. The memo strongly urged members to remain united and avoid internal disputes. We all know that the movement has had its fair share of infighting, with different factions attacking each other online. But this health crisis seems to be a rallying call. The leadership is effectively saying, stop the fighting, our leader is sick, and we need to focus on saving him. They advised members to verify information through official channels and to counter misinformation calmly. This is a sign of maturity. They know that panic is the enemy. If rumors start spreading that Kanu is dead or Kanu has collapsed, it could trigger chaos in the southeast. So they are trying to manage the flow of information while admitting that the situation is serious enough to ask for global help. The move to Sokoto was always going to be dangerous. We analyzed it when it happened, warning that the harsh weather conditions in the northwest, the extreme heat and the dust could aggravate his condition. Now we are seeing the results. The legal team is struggling to keep up with the travel expenses and the medical team is facing a logistical mountain. The memo notes that these expenses have created additional financial pressure, which is a polite way of saying they are running out of funds. It even hinted that broader fundraising initiatives might be introduced later in the year. This tells us that they expect this battle to drag on. They are preparing for a long war of attrition where the government tries to drain their pockets and their spirit. But here is the thing that gives hope. The response from the people has always been the backbone of this struggle. By naming the American veterans of Igbo descent and others, Kanu is tapping into the diaspora network that has sustained the agitation for years. These are people who understand the stakes. They know that if Kanu is allowed to deteriorate in prison without proper care, it would be a disaster for the region. The call for voluntary participation is a test of loyalty. It is easy to shout freedom on Facebook, but are you willing to support the logistics of the lawyers flying to Sokoto? Are you willing to support the doctors who are trying to keep him alive? The narrative is shifting. It is no longer just about release Nnamdi Kanu. It is now save Nnamdi Kanu. The government knows that a sick prisoner is a liability, but they also know that isolation is a powerful weapon. By keeping him in Sokoto, they are testing the resolve of his followers. Can they maintain this level of support when every visit costs millions in travel and logistics? Can they keep the pressure up when they can't just drive to the DSS headquarters to protest? This memo is IPOB's answer. Yes, we can, but we need everyone on board. As we watch this situation unfold, we must remember the human element. Nnamdi Kanu is a father, a husband, and a brother. He is a man who has spent years in detention. His health is not a political football. It is a matter of life and death. The Rising Sun Foundation and the other groups mentioned have a heavy burden to carry, but they cannot do it alone. The directive to circulate verified information is crucial. Do not share fake news. Do not spread panic. Share the truth that Nnamdi Kanu is in Sokoto, he is sick, and he needs support to get the care he deserves. We will keep tracking the response to this appeal. We will keep monitoring the court dates to see if the lawyers can use this medical crisis to argue for bail or at least a transfer back to a facility with better medical equipment. Until then, the message from the internal memo is clear. Support the medical care, support the legal defense, and stay united. The road to freedom is long, and right now it runs through the dusty roads of Sokoto.